Hello everyone, I wanted to update you on the woodland creation scheme and the planting that we're intending for the autumn. Now, of course, all of this work is providing us with a carbon offset scheme, which will then give us a budget to take on the next stage of the restoration of the castle. So it's all in that, it's all aimed at castle restoration. We just have to do a bit of forestry beforehand. And the advantage of the forestry, of course, is that we will be saving carbon and helping the environment alongside creating a sustainable use for a building which is presently a ruin. So on to cases, as they say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some maps of what we're intending and talk you through them in this video. So the first map is the planting map, which I have now in front of you. And you can see that really there are three types of planting on the map. There's the low density native broadleaf, and then there's the ordinary density native broadleaf, and then there's the native upland birch. These three types of planting give a profile of the woodland which you would find in the natural environment, and that's what we are intending to replicate with this. It is also intended to be a public access environment, so once planted there will be paths put in place. You'll see with this the red boundary line, and that is the extent of the new woodland that we are creating. However, that's not going to be all of the woodland that we will be planting. You'll also notice the line straight across the middle of the woodland. That is a power line. And at the south end, there's a kind of enclosure there. And that variance in the planting is about protecting archaeological remains, which were identified in an archaeological survey we had done over the last couple of months. Now, having had a look at that, we're going to have a look at the species map. Now, this is slightly different than the density map, the reason being that the oak birch woodland, the upland birch, and the riparian planting are slightly different, involving different mixes. So, for example, the riparian planting includes willow and alder, whereas the upland birch woodland, whilst it includes alder, also includes Scots pine, sessile oak, and is also primarily made up of birch. So you've got those varieties of mixes, and that's what you would find in the environment naturally all around us. Although if you look at this map, you will also see that most of the woodland around us is actually conifer, and conifer woodland is not native. It is also not particularly good for the land. It basically strips out all of the understory of the woodland. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to replicate local woodland, but also that understory, which should increase biodiversity and sustainability. Now, as I mentioned on the previous map, we want to create public access. So our final map, which I'm bringing up now, shows you a combination of the species planting for the top part, and in the brown, the replanting that we will be doing, having harvested those areas. So that harvest will help us with the cash flow to put in the fence, which is the black dotted line all the way around, and the gates, which are the red dots. But it will also mean that the whole of this area, including the stuff to the north and west of the river that you can see wandering down there towards the bottom left, is also included in this public access. The parking for the public access will be where we have staged all the harvested wood, which is just by Dunans cottage there. You'll also see some grey segments. There are 8 of those, And those are going to be areas where we have started and will continue to plant sponsored trees that lairds and ladies have purchased over the last couple of years. The planting for those sponsored trees has been delayed because of the harvest. And if you've seen the flyovers that I posted last time, you'll know the mess that the harvesters have made, particularly through areas 1, 2, and 3. Over the next year, all of that will be reconditioned and we will be planting those trees for lairds and ladies. The beauty of what we're doing is also that each tree will be GPS marked, so you'll be able to find your oak or your birch or your whatever it is that you have sponsored. So those are the plans. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Follow me, subscribe, etc., because there's going to be much more of the content of the restoration of the castle and the woodland planting over the next few months and weeks. And also in mid-April, we'll start to do some content about our Adventures in Preservation volunteers who will be repointing the curtain wall and doing some very important work on the bridge. Thanks for viewing and see you next time.